May 18, 1980. A quiet morning in southwestern Washington would end in one of the most dramatic volcanic events in American history. Mount St. Helens sat as a sleeping giant for centuries, part of the Cascade Range, built by repeated eruptions and restless magma beneath the surface. Scientists had watched for months as tremors increased, flank swelling formed, and small eruptions signaled mounting pressure within the mountain. I remember the growing rumble, like a distant freight train that kept getting closer, and a smell of sulfur in the air. May 18, 1980, Toutle River Valley, Washington State. On the morning of May 18th, sunlight cut through an ordinary sky, while the mountain's pulse quickened, unseen forces gathering strength. At 8:32 a.m., a magnitude 5.1 earthquake struck beneath the north flank, triggering the catastrophic landslide that would unleash the eruption. The ground gave way under my feet. A wall of rock and trees raced downhill like the earth itself had melted. When the flank collapsed, it uncorked stored energy. An enormous lateral blast swept northward at hundreds of miles per hour. Time: 8:32 a.m. May 18, 1980. Location: Mount St. Helens north flank. I watched through binoculars as the mountain's face sheared away, throwing a curtain of ash and flame high into the sky. Where forest once stood, a scoured wasteland formed in moments, evidence of a violent transformation no one could have fully imagined. A towering ash plume rose 15 miles into the atmosphere, darkening the sun and sending fine volcanic ash across states. Ash began falling like dirty snow. I remember wiping it from my porch, thinking at first it was just a storm. Deadly, fast-moving pyroclastic flows engulfed valleys, searing gas and rock that flattened trees and wiped out everything in their path. May 18th to 1980. Ashfall across Washington, Oregon, Idaho. Towns were buried in ash, power lines failed, and highways vanished beneath drifts that choked engines and lungs. The eruption released energy equivalent to hundreds of atomic bombs, reshaping the landscape and recalibrating scientific understanding of explosive eruptions. 57 people lost their lives that day. Each number hides a life, a story cut short by nature's sudden violence. We ran toward the river, confusion everywhere. Later we would count the missing and hold on to memories to keep them alive. More than 200 square miles were dramatically altered, lakes formed, rivers rerouted, and a massive crater opened where the summit once stood. June 1980, view from helicopter over the devastated North Slope. Rescue crews, scientists, and volunteers converged, sifting through ash and rubble, learning how to help and how to study the aftermath. The silence after the eruption was profound, broken only by distant streams and the occasional creak of settling debris. In the decades since, Mount St. Helens has become a living laboratory where scientists study regrowth, succession, and the raw power of renewal. Plants and wildlife returned in stages. Pioneer species first, then insects, birds, and larger animals, ecosystems slowly knitting themselves back together. Memorials and museums now honor those lost, and the eruption is taught as a lesson in respect for the forces beneath our feet. May 18th, every year, remembrance ceremonies at the Mount St. Helens National Volcanic Monument. Modern monitoring, seismic networks, satellite imagery, and gas sensors help scientists detect unrest early and better protect communities. Mount St. Helens stands changed, but not defeated, a stark reminder of vulnerability and resilience, and a call to listen to the Earth.